Moments ago, a helicopter crashed into a building in Midtown New York City. Let's go to Shepard Smith for this update, Shep.
Yeah, it's Midtown, just north of Times Square. The location is 7th Avenue and about 51st Street. These are the only pictures we have at this moment, and this is out in front of our building. We're at 47th Street and 6th Avenue. So if you walk out of our building and go a block west, you're at that big TKTS place where they have the huge stairs in the middle of Times Square. You see it on New Year's Eve if you haven't been here. 4 blocks north of that, and you can see the chaos in the streets now. A lot of the running around is about the rain, because there's been a solid, steady rain in New York City for much of the day. But this is the location here. These are the skyscrapers in Midtown. And the latest word we have is this. We first heard a plane has crashed 2 blocks from Fox News headquarters. Now we're getting information from the New York Police Department that it's a helicopter that's crashed somewhere around the roof of a building at 51st Street and 7th Avenue. So if you're standing in Times Square, let's say you're at 42nd Street in the middle of the concrete canyons, right in the crossroads of the world, and you look due north toward Central Parkish, a helicopter's crashed into one of those buildings, and it's this one right here. It's kind of hard to see, but it says 787. Is that the one, guys? 787, 7th Avenue. So you can see it here at the bottom, sort of center of your screen, right above the word crashes. We don't know if it's that lower building or the upper building, but we know that for us at least, getting helicopters up at the moment is a difficult thing. I mentioned the rain. The rain started falling, I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock this morning over much of the tri-state area, meaning New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Long Island. It started raining this morning, and it's supposed to rain all day and into the night. Slightly windy. Yesterday was you can see the flags there sort of breezing around, but it's not as if the wind is really high at the lower levels. Of course, you never know if you go 30, 40 stories up. Many of the buildings in this part of town, if you visited New York, you know, can be 40, 50 stories tall. But the one into which this helicopter has crashed, we just don't have a lot of information on exactly where it's happened. I can tell you, Fox 5 is on the air, right? Fox 5 New York, which is our local Fox station, was breaking into programming. And have they done that yet in the booth? Can I get Fox 5 and the 103 in here, please? We're waiting to see what there are ground pictures. But getting over to 7th Avenue right now and the area where this happened is a very difficult thing to do. And thus far, the helicopters have not been able to get up. Usually when there's activity in Midtown Manhattan, we see it from a helicopter because, as you know, traveling around on the streets is way difficult. Here are our first live pictures from the ground, which is as close as this crew could get. I can tell you this, in the area of 7th Avenue and 49th, 50th, 51st Street, in that area, there is loads of construction. You can see here, see those orange and white barricades on the left-hand side of the screen. That's closing off an entire lane as they are erecting enormous buildings all through this area. There's a 40-story hotel going up at 48th Street. There's another enormous construction project at 49th Street. There's another at 51st west of. So all of this area is snarled all the time with extreme construction. And the street level traffic is abysmal, like nothing most New Yorkers can remember in the last couple of decades, at least in Midtown. It's incredible. So just getting to anywhere on a good day is very difficult. But on a rainy, mid-60s day with a little wind and a lot of street congestion on a Monday after a weekend, getting around is very difficult. You can see that the FDNY's out with a stretcher there. Looks like they're carrying equipment, and the police department, the NYPD, moving people back from the area. They've been requesting that everyone stay away from this area, which is 51st Street and 7th Avenue in Midtown Manhattan. The one good thing about all of this rain in this extremely heavily populated area, as I'm sure you know, it's one of the most densely pedestrian traveled areas in all of the country. Usually some rain on a spring day will cut down on the amount of pedestrian traffic, and that would mean if there's anybody to be hurt below, the numbers might have been fewer. We can just hope so at this moment.